Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. What do I have today? G'day mate. Australian Defence Force Combat Ration 1 Man, or otherwise known as the CR1M. This one is from 2020. Hopefully this ration is better than that year. Stick around, let's open this bad boy up. So, as you can see, this is Menu G. This is a full 24 hours complement worth of food for one Australian soldier for one day. Let's open this bad boy up. Cut along the top here. We'll set this over here and let's dig in. First off, matches with a striker. Multi-grain bread. Instant mashed potatoes. Yay, tuna. Teriyaki steak bar. Chocolate M&Ms. Musk flavored lifesavers. Jam, plum, processed cheddar cheese spread. Little pack of napkins. Accessory kit, we'll set that to the side. Creamy mushroom soup. Isotonic drink powder, lemon lime. Chocolate ration. Cereal bar. All fruit bar, tropical. Sweetened condensed milk. Spaghetti bolognese. French lamb stew. Citrus cake. Natural muesli, fruit and seeds. Biscuit, cream cracker. The Old Faithful Jammy Dodger. Chocolate protein drink. Ziploc bag. Menu card. Spoon! Let's see what this accessory pack has to offer. Tomato ketchup. Instant coffee. Tabasco sauce. Instant coffee. 2 tea bags. Black pepper. Scouring sponge. Mentos gum. Another pack of Mentos gum. Old Faithful Vegemite. Creamer. 1, 2 white sugars. And salt. Not 1, not 2. 3 rubber bands. And a Fred. Stick around, let's get breakfast on the tray. Alrighty, for breakfast I have chosen natural muesli, fruit and seeds, some biscuit jam sandwich, whole grain cereal bar, all fruit bar, some plum jam, some cream biscuit, some Vegemite, and some coffee and tea, some creamer, and some sugar. Great channel. Make some of the instant coffee. Looks like a freeze-dried. Standard instant. Oh, gotta clean off the tray. Let's open up these little napkins. Looks like sheets of toilet paper. Make our tea. Bell tea. Let's add some creamer to the coffee. Cheers, everybody. Standard, instant. What do you expect? Okay, let's use the tear notch. some fruit there. Got pepitas. Let's take a little bit of water. I do not like my muesli really wet. I kind of like, I actually like it a bit on the thicker side, more like a thick oatmeal. I'm going to have to add a little bit more water into that though, obviously. It's already given off a great flavor of fruit. Can smell the oats. Can smell the fruit. Can see it looks like there's cranberries in there, maybe raisins. There's things like they had a little bit of sugar coating on it. Mix that up. Set that there. I'm gonna take some of the creamer and add that into this. And for shits and giggles, let's add a little bit of that plum jam in there. We'll let that sit for a moment while we open up the rest of these. Let's open up our Jammy Dodgers or our biscuit jam sandwiches. Let's play some tic-tac-toe. These are awesome. They stayed intact. Let's open up this cream cracker biscuit, packaged on July 16th, 2020. See how these fared. Bit broken up. Yeah, a bit broken up. Since we got these open, let's open the dreaded Vegemite. Woo! That's a stinker. Set that right there. Whole grain cereal bar with seeds, including chia. It's a lot of fiber in this breakfast, not a lot of protein, but that's okay. Instant sugars, instant fats to kind of keep you going. This one looks kind of, almost looks like if I had that compressed into a bar. And last but not least, open up our all fruit bar tropical, 40 gram. I can already smell that. Great smell of like a plum or maybe like a date. Apple. We're going to save this for last so it doesn't damage our palate. Let's take a bite of the fruit muesli. So yeah, got a good mix here. Looks like it has raisins, cranberries, maybe golden raisins, pepitas, oats, and I did put some plum jam in there, and I also put some creamer in there. Let's take a bite of that. That is an amazing bite. Definitely kicks up the energy content. Going for another one. That is tasty. Perfect consistency. The plum jam adds a nice hint of fruit along with the fruits that are already in there. The creamer adds a nice milky, creamy flavor to it. Tastes good, but I do want to kind of clean my palate. So let's take a sip of this tea. That is just a nice, average, everyday tea. Breakfast tea. A little bit of a, sounds weird to say this, has a little bit of a smoky flavor. I'm going to take one of these biscuits here. Take a bite of one of these. Oh, pretty good snap. Doesn't seem too stale. For those of us in the States, they taste like a saltine, just a little bit thicker. So let's take a little bit of this plum jam here. Put that right on there. That looks like a good bite to me. Yeah, that's the way to go. Have another one of those. That was good. A really good amount of plum jam on that. That was really good. Going for a cup of coffee. Good standard instant coffee. Reminds me of Taster's Choice or Nescafe, or probably is under a private label. Let's break into this bar. You can see how gooey it is. Glistening. You can see the reflection. Very good. Tastes very natural. Definitely taste all the different seeds and oats and everything in there. But let's do this here. I don't believe I have any sweetened condensed milk in this, or I'd be doing that. But let's put a little bit of that plum jam on there. Oh. See what that tastes like. That second bite, although not bad, can start to taste the age in that. Can definitely start to taste the age in that one. Going for this fruit bar. Let's see if I can break this. Well, look at that. Slinky, slinky. No, gonna just go in for a bite, I guess. That is amazing. Apple, pineapple, mango. This is like a fruit roll-up on steroids. This is amazing. I have to say, so far, this is the best component for the breakfast. That's delicious. Wow. Okay. Try a Jammy Dodger. Those are great. Chewy, shortbread, nice undertone, nice buttery undertone. The jam on the inside, can never go wrong with one of those. That's great. Take a little sip of this tea. That is a really nice palate cleanser. Interesting, has a bit of a smoky aftertaste. Okay, everybody, here we go. I've never done this before. Oh, what does that say? Something cracker? Say United or Hunter cracker? Okay, well, this is Vegemite. From what I understand, you're supposed to just take a little bit of this and that might even be too much. And really spread it thin. Here goes. Bon appetit, everybody. That is delicious. That is salty. That is savory. That has complexity of flavors. Yeah, go big or go home, right? That is good. I'm saving some of this later on for the bread. Oh, yeah. That was really good. Get myself a good slather into that. Almost looks like Nutella. The saltiness and the earthiness of that is delicious. Definitely takes these flavor of the crackers and ups it a notch. I'm surprised. Very tasty. Well, I'm going to finish all of this off screen, and I'll be back with you for some lunch. See you in a little bit, guys. Welcome back to lunch, everybody. So for lunch, we're going to have pasta bolognese that's still hot from the boil, some mashed potatoes, some multi-grain bread, some cheese spread, a steak bar, isotonic drink lemon lime, citrus cake. I'm excited about trying a citrus cake, some M&Ms for dessert, and some seasonings. So, without further ado, let's get this stuff opened up and ready to eat. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to open up these mashed potatoes, get them in some boiling water, and mix them up. Those look very nice. A little bit of chive in there. Looks like some other stuff in there. Pour those right in there. Can never go wrong with potato flakes. This calls for about 250 milliliters or 1 cup of water. I'm going to put slightly less to begin with because I can always add more. Can't ever take away. You guys are probably sick of me stirring stuff on camera already. Yeah, this is going to be a consistency. Yeah, this is going to be really close to the way I like it. I can already smell the butter. I can already smell the chives. Add a little bit more water. Set that aside. Let these kind of reconstitute. My dog turns 15 today. He'll enjoy those mashed potatoes on the floor. I mean, he's not as interesting as Ration Kitty, but he's a good dude. 15-year-old Chihuahua, toothless Chihuahua, so the mashed potatoes will do him well. You know what? I'm just going to add the rest of this water. See how creamy I can make these. That looks pretty good. Next, let's open up some pasta bolognese. This is out of the boil. This is hot. That is a thick, dark, oily sauce. That is a lot of oil, and that's a lot of oil content in that right there. Chopped spaghetti. Let's mix up this isotonic drink. And no, I don't think I'll be mixing that up. That could just be me, but you know, I got a long day ahead of me. Yeah, I'm not trying that. So, water it is. Next, we'll open up this citrus cake. This looks good. I don't understand why they put the tear notch on the bottom of it. Very odd. Smells fine. Looks like it's seen better days, though. Looks like it's maybe a bit heat stressed. I don't know. Let's see if we can get this out of here in one piece. There we go. There we go. If that doesn't look interesting, I don't know what does. Here we go. Commercial brand teriyaki steak bar. Pretty standard. Let's open up some of this multigrain bread. Wow, now that's interesting. I've had the white bread in a CR1M, but I've never had the multigrain bread. Let's see if I can break out the Fred. See if I can open this. Looks like good old processed cheese to me. Let's give it a sniff. Smells fine. Let's open up these M&Ms. Let's have one of these. Let's sneak a bit of dessert before dinner. Right as rain. Okay. So I'm going to take a little bit of the black pepper and I'm going to mix it in with the pasta. I like black pepper in my pasta. And that's a lot of black pepper, but that's how I was brought up. My father used black pepper in everything. It's not bad. A bit oily, if you notice that. It looks a lot of oil in there. I'm not going to add any salt at this moment. But I think I'm going to just do it. I'll wait. I'll take a bite and then I'll add some Tabasco. So let's get a bite of this. Make sure we get some of the noodles, some of the meat sauce, some of the bolognese. Not too bad. Cheers, everybody. Not bad at all. Warm. Does it taste homemade? Absolutely not. Does it taste processed? Yes, but I would not be disappointed getting that. Now I'm going to add some of the Tabasco. Kind of just squirt it out there. Mix that in. And for another bite. Yeah, that definitely did. That was great. So now, let's take a little bit of this processed cheese. Let's take a bite on its own. I like that. It reminds me of the cheese that used to come in a tube and you would cut the end off and squeeze it. That's good. So now what I'm going to do, try to make it there, but I'm also going to go over here and mix some of this cheese in with my potatoes and my pasta. So yeah, it's going to be clumpy and it looks like unmelted butter. But so be it. Let's let that sit for a second. Move over here to the mashed potatoes. So first of all, let's take a bite without any cheese and stuff on it. How's that sound? It's a good bite right there. Not bad for instant. Pretty dry. I am going to add some salt to that. But a little bit, not too much. And if I have any of this black pepper left, yeah. So mix some of that in. That's going to be a bite with the salt and pepper right there. Definitely makes a difference. Now, let's get a bite of these mashed taters with a good bite of cheese. Cheese up top, mashed potatoes on the bottom. Not too bad. Potatoes overwhelm the cheese. You don't even really taste the cheese. Take a bite of this Jack Link's bar teriyaki. It's jerky, it's teriyaki, it is what it is. Now let's grab a piece of this pasta with some cheese. I don't know if that did anything. Okay, multi-grain snack bread. It's one of the best breads in rations. Let's break this open. Wow, nice and pillowy inside. Let's take a quick little bite. Nice and soft and spongy. Okay, let's take a bite with some cheese sauce mixed in there and some pasta. It's not bad, but the more I eat of this, the more I don't care for it. It was good out of the package. It's not that it tastes old, it just isn't doing anything for me. Again, just not hitting it for me. Yeah, so far lunch is a bit of a downer. Citrus cake looks great. Nice and moist and glistening. Let's break that open. pretty good there. Let's go take a bite. That's the star so far. That is great. I love lemon. I love citrus. That is amazing. Take a couple M&Ms. Those are good. Even from 2020, nice and crunchy. No bad flavor at all. Now, without further ado, let's grab some of our multigrain bread and our star of the breakfast ration, some Vegemite. And let's put a dollop of that right there. Take our spoon. Get that, all that goodness in there. Going in for a bite. Just as good. Actually, we're better on the cream biscuits for breakfast, but that is the way to go. Last but not least, let's try out this Mentos gum, because after the Vegemite and the garlic mash and all that stuff, oh, 3 pieces. I'll throw one of those in my gullet. Yeah, definitely refreshing. Definitely cleans the palate. Yeah, overall, not disappointed in lunch. I'm not blown away by it, but the breakfast so far was a lot better. So, like I do before, I'm going to finish this off camera, and I'll be back with some dinner. See you guys in a little bit. Hey everybody, I'm back for dinner. As you can see, I'm going to have some French lamb stew. That is hot, that is right off the boil. Some creamy mushroom soup. Protein drink, chocolate flavor. My chocolate ration. Some sweetened condensed milk. And some tea and coffee, which I've already prepared. Let's break into this main. Set the creamy soup aside. This main is hot, and it says to shake, which is interesting. So I have that is hot, so I have a feeling it's going to be a bit runny. Let's see what this is. I've never had lamb stew in a ration before, so this is the first time. Let's see what this looks like. Oh yeah, that is very red. Very red. Pretty good smell coming off that at the moment. Not a bad smell. Very fragrant. Let's open up some of this creamy mushroom soup. I've got the water already in there. And 250 mils. That's what it looks like inside. Does not look like mushroom. And I'm not a big fan of eating mushroom, especially after watching the first episode of the new season of Last of Us. I'm not one of those people who will ever eat cordyceps coffee. Let's mix that in. Set that aside. I don't know if that has to rehydrate or those are croutons or what, but chocolate protein drink. That is thick and very difficult to mix all the way in. You can see the clumps on the side. Yeah, that is a thick one. I'm going to add some creamer. I am not a huge fan of protein drinks. And I think the creamer for me is going to kind of tone down the flavor, tone down the aftertaste, and hopefully make it a little creamier. Yeah. Well, doesn't that look appetizing? Not. Okay. So it looks like this stew's got lamb, carrots, potatoes. It's got a nice savory sauce in there. Doesn't look too bad. Dripping, get a bite. It's actually really good. Reminds me of Dinty Moore beef stew. Stuff is very liquidy. Try some of this mushroom soup. I have to think those are croutons. A little bit of parsley or something in there. Not too bad. Taste, honestly, those are definitely croutons. Interesting thing, this tastes more like chicken than actual mushroom. If you did not tell me it was mushroom, I might know by the color, but I wouldn't know by the taste. This is actually really good. And I'm quite surprised because I am not a huge mushroom fan. Going for another bite of the stew here. Get some potatoes. Again, very robust stew, but tastes like processed Dinty Moore. I'll tell you, the breakfast was the best meal so far. I'm not overwhelmed by the lunch or dinner in these CR1Ms. Not bad. Gonna take a sip of the coffee here. Standard Bell tea. Boy, that looks appetizing, doesn't it? Down the hatch. Here we go. Nope. Can smell the malt right away. It tastes like a bad candy. If that makes sense, it tastes like a bad chocolate candy. Yeah, I'm not enjoying that, so I am not going to enjoy. Let me rephrase that. I'm not enjoying that, so I am not going to have any more of that. I'm going to have a little bit more of the soup, though. That's really good. That's my favorite component so far. Really, really tasty. I have a little bit of black pepper left over from lunch. Put some of that in. Put a little bit of salt in here. And for shits and giggles, let's put some ketchup. Looks more like barbecue sauce. I'm probably going to get screamed at by some of my viewers. Oh my God, you're doing this wrong. Yeah, that's okay. That's why we experiment. So salt, pepper, and ketchup into lamb stew. Now it looks a little bit more like barbecue. Actually, adds a nice little sweetness. The addition of the salt and pepper make a huge difference. So I have a mess here. I'm going to clean this tray up and we're going to have some dessert. Hang tight, everybody. And I'm back for dessert. 50-gram chocolate ration, sweetened condensed milk, some Musk Lifesavers, some Mentos gum, and some leftover coffee and tea. So let's open up this chocolate ration. It does feel heat stressed. I'm expecting this to be bloomed, but a lot of times when it's bloomed, it's not bad. Oh my Lord, look at that. It's like Willy Wonka. Holy crap, that is in beautiful condition. And don't forget, this is from 2020. Wow! I could not be more happy. Look at that. That is beautiful. Let's open up some of this sweetened condensed milk. Put that right there. Get a little spoonful of this. You know how this is going to go. That is delectable. I'll do another one of those. That is the best. First of all, we're going to break off a piece of that. That chocolate looks great. It's got a good snap to it. For 5 years old, that's not half bad. Definitely needs a sip of coffee, though. Now, for the coup de grace. Take some sweetened condensed milk all over that bad boy. Decadence. That's definitely the way to go. Such good flavor. Finish off that coffee. Let's go in for the last bit of tea. All right. Let's break into one of these Musk Lifesavers. Purple. They smell like the old violet candies, if anybody's old enough to remember what they smell like. Yep, that means your grandmother. I love this flavor. I'm going to be hated on. That flavor is great. Last but not least, take a piece of this Mentos gum. Bursting with flavor, refreshing, perfect end to a perfect meal. I'm going to get this stuff out of the way and I'll be back with some final thoughts. So that was my review of a 2020 Australian CR1M 24-hour ration. And yeah, don't give me shit. The tuna's still in the bag, not eating it. I suffered enough with the lamb and with the protein shake, so get over it. But again, do I like these rations? Absolutely. Was it a ton of food? Absolutely, I'm full. Breakfast was the best overall meal of the day. Dinner, second, lunch, I was kind of underwhelmed. But these are great. And for 2020, it certainly held up better than the year did. The decadence of the chocolate with sweetened condensed milk, you can't ever go wrong with that. The Old Lady Musk Lifesavers, I'm a fan. But again, this was my review of a 2020 CR1M Menu G. Thanks for sticking around, everybody. Hopefully you have a great day. And for those of you who celebrate, happy Easter. For those of you who celebrate, happy Passover. And for those of you who don't celebrate, I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Until we see each other again, everybody.